You're standing in line at the airport, ticket in hand, ready to board the flight that will carry you toward your next chapter. You've packed carefully, followed every rule, arrive hours early just to avoid trouble. That was Angela's story. A black woman, mid-30s, elegant, calm, and composed. She had flown countless times before, but today, she wasn't just traveling for herself. She was traveling on duty, because Angela was a diplomat. But nobody in the line behind her knew that. Not yet. To them, she was just another passenger. To some, she was a target. The TSA checkpoint seemed routine. Shoes off, laptops out, bags on the belt. She passed through the scanner with no beep, no red light. But then, a sharp voice cut through the air. You, step aside. Angela blinked. Is there a problem? The officer's eyes narrowed. Random screening. She stepped aside, calm but uneasy. She had seen this before. Other passengers breezed past, but her? She was singled out. The pat-down started aggressively. The officer yanked at her jacket, pulled at her scarf, swabbed her hands, rifled through her bag like she was smuggling gold. Passengers in line whispered. Some smirked. One woman, the type people now call a Karen, muttered just loud enough. Figures. Always causing problems. Angela's face burned. She had done nothing wrong. Yet here she was, humiliated in public. The officer snapped. Where you going? Why so much luggage? Who packed these bags? Angela steadied her voice. I'm traveling for work. Work? The officer chuckled. Looks more like a shopping spree to me. The whispers grew louder. Phone cameras came up. Strangers were recording, feeding on her discomfort. Angela had a choice. She could argue, or she could let the truth speak for itself. She reached calmly into her carry-on, pulled out a slim leather case, opened it, a burgundy passport, but not just any passport. Gold lettering, bold crest, the unmistakable seal of the United States government. Diplomatic passport. The officer froze. The smirk vanished. His face drained of color. Around him, the other TSA agents leaned closer, their eyes widening as they read the words on the cover. Angela's voice was steady, but sharp. I represent my country abroad, and right now, you're treating me as if I'm a criminal. Silence. For a moment, the entire checkpoint went still. The lead supervisor rushed over, eyes wide. Ma'am, my apologies. We didn't realize. He snapped his fingers. Instantly, the tone shifted. Bags were repacked carefully. The tray was handed back like fine china. And the very officer who barked at her now stood stiff, almost at attention. The same bystanders who whispered, their smirks turned to shame. The so-called Karen dropped her eyes, suddenly fascinated by her phone. Because the truth was undeniable. This woman they mocked, outranked them all. Angela didn't raise her voice. She didn't have to. Her passport spoke louder than anything she could say. One officer even stammered, Would you like an escort to your gate, ma'am? Angela slipped the passport back into her case. No, what I wanted for you to remember. Respect should never depend on the color of someone's skin. It should come standard. And with that, she walked forward, head high, dignity intact, leaving silence in her wake. Cameras were still recording. Within hours, the clip hit social media. Comments poured in. This is why representation matters. They humiliated the wrong woman. Diplomatic immunity never looked so powerful. The irony was sharp. TSA had tried to break her down, but in the end, it was they who stood exposed, caught on camera, stripped of arrogance, left with nothing but regret. Because prejudice might think it has authority, but true authority comes from respect. And respect, like a passport, can open doors no bias can ever close.